Ash's team is looking pretty solid this series. Yo, what's up everyone? Treyman1 here. Welcome back to another Pocket Monsters 2019 anime review. Today we're covering episode 16, another big capture for Ash Ketchum himself. Man, I gotta say this was a pretty solid episode, and I'm liking the way Ash's team is turning out, but let's go ahead and get right into the summary and my thoughts. Good old Gengar from episode 11 returns in this episode, and I gotta say that the title card and everything was really cool because, you know, they did kind of like a horror-based themed title card, which had me thinking, you know, maybe this would be a thing we'll see in a lot of Gengar-focused episodes, or maybe this is just a one-time thing. But Ash and Go, hearing that this Gengar is back, both decide that they both want to catch this Pokemon once again. So the catch race is on. And to be honest, going into this episode, I was still scared. I didn't know if Ash was going to catch it or Go, because the signs could lead to both. But it looks like we had our answer in today's episode, and I'm pleased with it. There was actually one point in the episode that I actually believed that this Gengar was the Haunter that Ash met back, you know, in the original series. And the reason I say this is because Gengar was shooting about your Shadow Balls, and Ash was like, cut it out, and Gengar stopped. And then this had me thinking, you know, wait, is this the same Haunter evolved as a Gengar and it's just trying to get Ash's attention all along? That's what I was thinking at first. But as we go further into the episode, I don't think that's the case, unfortunately. Sakuragi ends up informing Ash and Go that, you know, when he bought this place out to make it into his labs, you know, there's been people saying that there's some haunted things going on, you know, doors opening and closing, stuff falling down, and Sakuragi just said, you know, oh, I think that's going to be cool, so he just decides to get the lab anyway, and it's like, what the heck, Sakuragi? But, you know, Gengar's tricks weren't working on Sakuragi because he, you know, he was just going along with it, so Gengar ended up stopping, and, you know, that's why we haven't seen it early on in the series. But with Ash Go and all the new Pokemon being present, it's starting to get on Gengar's nerves, and, you know, that's why it's attacking again. And then Ash actually starts feeling kind of bad himself, which goes like, oh, you've been cursed by Gengar. And I actually believe that was the case at first, but it doesn't look like that's the case when we get further into the episode. It's funny, too, because Gengar is actually within Ash's shadow while all this is happening, so it makes us believe that this is Gengar's curse. And Ash actually does some weird stuff, like drinking out of a flower vase, and, you know, it was just crazy. One scene that was really funny, in my opinion, was when a whole bunch of Pokemon from the Sakuragi labs just running over Ash for no reason. I'm like, gosh dang it, like, I don't know what they were doing or what was going on. I guess they were playing tag or hide and seek or something, but poor Ash was just going through it in this episode. And because all this weird stuff is happening, he's like, you know what, let me just go ahead and take a nice jog. That'll make me feel better. And we actually see, like, you know, the weird things under his eyes go away after he takes a nice run. So it does seem like exercise did help him out a bit. And also interesting detail to point out was, like, Gengar was kind of upset when Ash was leaving. Like, I don't know why Gengar stayed in Ash's shadow for so long, but when Ash was, you know, leaving the lab, you could see Gengar looking kind of worried, like it didn't want to leave. And we're going to get the answer to that shortly. Ash ends up running into a trainer, and believe it or not, this is actually Gengar's original trainer. This Gengar is very powerful, so it makes sense that it had to have an original trainer because it has such a great moveset and everything like that. And it turns out this trainer is an absolute jerk, saying, you know, oh, it was cursed 3 years ago, and, you know, it got rid of the curse, and basically the curse was none other than Gengar. We then cut to a flashback, and this scene is so heartbreaking because this is kind of like what iShoes was saying about, you know, Pokemon listening to their trainers and are going to sit there and wait until their trainers return. We see the trainers like, all right, Gengar, you wait here and I'll be back. And Gengar sits here and waits at Sakuragi Lab. We see, like, you know, days and nights pass and Gengar's just standing here. And believe it or not, Gengar has been waiting on this trainer for 3 years. Like, that's so crazy to me because if you think about back to Charmander, it wasn't that long since Charmander got left because, you know, his tail would have went out. So, you know, just to think, like, if Ash didn't make it, Charmander would have died. Good thing here is that Gengar didn't have no type of fire tail or anything like that, so, you know, it was able to survive throughout the wait. But it's still so sad to see, you know, Gengar was waiting for his trainer, excited, like, just sitting here waiting, goes inside the lab, you know, just keeps on waiting. The door opens. It thinks it's his trainer, but it's just people, you know, about to run out the building. And then this is where Gengar's, you know, tricks start to happen, where it starts to scare off people and as it waits for his trainer. And we see seasons going by. Gengar was here for 3 years waiting for his trainer, and it makes sense why Gengar was so mad and evil in the previous episodes, because that's a long time waiting, for your trainer to return. And at the end of them 3 years, Gengar ends up becoming the evil Pokemon that it is today. And it's so messed up with this trainer saying, it's like, I never should have caught that miserable Gengar. This thing's always causing trouble. It was just saying that how much it hated Gengar. And Gengar was right there hearing this and came out and was ready to destroy his trainer. Like, Gengar was going all out. With previous Pokemon, when they get released, they still have feelings for their previous trainer. Like, I remember Chimchar with Paul, and, in the I Choose You movie, Charizard, even though Cross did it dirty, Charizard still helped Cross at the end of the day because, that was his original trainer. But Gengar was not having that. Luckily, Ash and Pikachu were able to stop Gengar, and the trainer ends up running away with his girlfriend. But I believe this trainer could possibly return, maybe for a battle, or maybe this is just a character of the day and we'll never see him again. To be honest, I wouldn't care if we saw this trainer again, because this character didn't have as much importance as, say it's Cross or something like that. And Team Rocket were actually listening in the background, so I'm kind of glad that Team Rocket is starting to get more focused in these episodes. Like, in the beginning of the series, Team Rocket had little to no appearances. It still sucks that they don't have Pokemon. Like, that Choodle did not return in this episode, so it seems like they did take it back to the lab. But I'm hoping that, it does appear in the Rocket Lottery one day. And Team Rocket go full Luigi's Mansion on us, freaking with the vacuum, suck the Gengar into the vacuum. And this just makes Gengar's trust for humans, even more worse than it already is, since, it just went through what it went through with its trainer. But luckily, Ash and Pikachu were able to stop Team Rocket, and they end up having another battle, which is crazy because it feels like it's been so long since Ash has fought Team Rocket. That's just in my opinion. The last Team Rocket appearances, they had to do with the Dreadnought. So yeah, it was episode 10, I think. That's the last time they battled. And Ash ends up telling Gengar, you don't have to trust humans, but I have full faith and trust in you. And asks Gengar, will just help him in battle. Gengar seems to not really trust Ash at first, but it does decide to battle with Ash at the end of the day. Which, this moment right here made me believe, Ash is going to get this thing. Because this is the difference with Ash and Go. It's like, Go did do good with the Cubone, though. I can't lie. Go did do an Ash move with that Cubone. But this capture right here, this is the type of Ash capture. So I'm very glad that this Gengar decided to team up with Ash. And it actually did pretty good in battle. Team Rocket got 2 Dusclops. And I got to say, I love their Rotom phones so much more than Ash's and Go's, because this has personality. They were like, what, 2 Dusclops? And Rotom's like, oh, do you have a problem with Giovanni? They're like, no, not at all. I just imagine Rotom's about to call Giovanni up and tell them. Like, I really do love the personality that this Rotom has. And it's just weird because, like, why doesn't Ash's and Go's Rotom have the personality? I get we just had the Rotom decks in last series, but it's just funny seeing the personality of this Rotom right here. Also, there was one point in the episode I was just like, what the heck? Because I thought Gengar wasn't really teaming up with Ash. Because Pikachu got hit by Ice Punch and it froze up a little bit. And Gengar hits Pikachu with Shadow Ball. But it was just to, get rid of the ice. So that made sense. And even with these powerful Pokemon, Team Rocket still don't stand a chance against Ash, Pikachu, and Gengar, as Gengar destroys these Pokemon in battle. And that's Team Rocket blast off, which it's weird seeing them blast off after, Beware in the last series. It's just weird seeing them blast off again. Ash seems to have those, things under his eyes again, and he actually ends up passing out. And I gotta say, I love the way they handled the scene where, you just hear Go calling Ash's name, like, Ash, Ash! And just, everyone's just, looking at him, like, so worried, like, what's happening right now? The scene later cuts to Ash waking up, and an interesting thing to point out is that on Ash's shirt, he has a Charmander on his shirt, basically, which is a huge reference to Ash's Charmander. Because, Gengar and Charmander went through a similar thing where Charmander was left by his trainer, told, to wait here and it was be back, and it never came back. So the same thing happened with Gengar, and I think that was a really cool reference that they did with the t-shirt right there. But Gengar actually ends up showing up and bringing Ash a Pokeball, asking, to join Ash's team, which everyone who was worried about Go catching it has no more worries because Ash now has this Gengar. And I gotta say, this capture was well deserved. And I like the story that they told with Gengar. I was wondering in episode 11, why was it so evil? And, what was it going through? And I noticed that it attacked everyone with a Pokemon, like, in the beginning, the Magnemite, it attacked him. It didn't really attack Koharu until Yamper showed up. So I assume that Gengar was just, didn't like seeing Pokemon and people interact together after what happened with his trainer. But seeing that it's now joined the Ash has me very excited for what the future has for these two. And in contrast to the first moment where we get to see, at the end of episode 11 when Gengar's standing on top of the labs, looking evil and possessed as all know what, we get to see it happy standing on top of the labs. So it really does show the contrast of Gengar before and Gengar now. And I really am excited and glad that Ash has caught this Pokemon. And yes, Gengar is another Kanto Pokemon, which Ash's team is Pikachu, Mr. Mime, Dragonite, and Gengar now. Which kind of has me believing that Ash may get a full Kanto team this time around. I mean, just look at the Pokemon he's getting. Like, these captures are amazing compared to before, where he always catches first stage Pokemon, but here he's catching a final evolved, full stage Pokemon, which is pretty crazy to me. And we do know that Ash is confirmed to get 5 Pokemon so far. Like, there was a scan that showcases Ash's team with Pikachu, Mr. Mime, Dragonite, and 2 question marks. We now know one of those question marks is Gengar, but what is that final question mark? I do not know. I do believe Ash will get a full team of 6, but maybe these are just like, the early catches. And some people speculate that Ash may actually get 5 Pokemon from each region. So, how he's getting all Kanto Pokemon now. He'll then get, 5 Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, Kalos, Alola, and Galar, which I'm not too sure because that's a lot of Pokemon. And we know Ash. Ash isn't, that type of trainer like Go. Go's the one who's trying to catch them all. I kind of see Ash catching at most 10 Pokemon in total. Maybe he'll catch 5 from Kanto, 5 from Galar. I really don't know, to be honest. A lot of people want Ash to get Lucario, which I'll be down for as well. But yeah, there's so much that could go down with Ash's team in the series, and we just really have no idea what they're planning. And I think this confirms that, in the upcoming 2v2 that Ash is having at Lieutenant Surge's gym, Gengar will be that second Pokemon, because I want to see more of Gengar. And it's just a lot of potential that they could show off with this Pokemon's strength and powers. The question is, will this Gengar Gigantamax when we go back to Galar? I do hope so. Another theory a lot of people have is that Ash will get a full team of Gigantamaxes, which if that's the case, that means that in the possible DLCs, they will release a Gigantamax Mr. Mime and a Gigantamax Dragonite, which I'll be totally down for, but we'll just have to wait and see it. But yeah, everyone, in the comment section down below, let me know what you all think of Gengar joining Ash's team. I would love to hear. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. TreyMan1. Peace out.